welcome to Brickcats. My channel is for anyone who enjoys custom LEGO creations, likes saving money, and or those looking to get into custom building. If you're a fan of my channel or are interested in supporting what I do, please consider liking this review, subscribing, or leaving a comment. Each like, subscription, and comment helps others find my channel, and I greatly appreciate your support. I've held off on doing comparison videos for a long time, mostly because I wasn't entirely settled on a format or how I would go about it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has built all of these models, but I do think I'm the only one that's documented their thoughts on them as extensively as I have. I'm going to continue to keep things positive, avoid direct comparisons like this one is better than that one, and focus on the areas I think are most important to someone looking to make a decision between all of these excellent options. I believe all of these models can appeal to someone depending on their preferences or what they want out of a model, and most importantly their budget. Obviously, I have done in-depth reviews on all of these models, and I'll link those below in the description. For this video, I'm not going to do a full price analysis, so any pricing information is using the default parts list from the designer without any substitutions and only using Bricklink. The price will include shipping and tax according to my Bricklink results. Your mileage may vary, but you can at least get an idea of what you're getting into. For the more in-depth pricing analysis, be sure to watch the full reviews. So with that in mind, let's get started, and I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Tubricks Officials model is currently in version 2, and the standout feature of this one to me is the S-foil mechanism. This is by far the best integrated and easiest to use of all the X-Wings I'm going to cover. This is also a great model if you are looking for an X-Wing to handle frequently. The S-foils can be actuated with one hand while pushing the model, something you can't do with most of the others. It's very solidly built, with the only weak spots being the obvious candidates like the cannons and the engine thrusters. Tubricks used a frame-built cockpit for his X-Wing. This obviously doesn't give the model the same feel as an official LEGO windscreen would, but the shape of the standard X-Wing cockpit mold is completely inaccurate, and I really wish they would change it. Tubricks does include instructions and a supplemental parts list if you want to use the official windscreen element, however. Instructions for this model are very easy to follow, and this model is suitable for all levels of builders, with the possible exception of cutting the hoses, which should be done by someone old enough to safely handle the knife or whatever you're using to do that. With 1,132 pieces and 336 elements, you can likely get this model for around $140 plus $8 for the instructions available on Rebrickable in early July 2024. Azure Bricks' 2023 iteration of his X-Wing is a great looking model all around, with a nice balance between studless and studded elements. The designer made great use of set 75301 sticker sheet to add some additional detailing, and I fully support use of stickers as a general rule. This model has a very well integrated S-foil mechanism, and you can push a button hidden in the top rear-wing strip to open up the S-foils to attack position. This button doesn't work in reverse, so closing the S-foils you simply do manually. Instructions for this model are very easy to follow, and this is suitable for all levels of builders, again with the possible exception of cutting the hoses. With 986 pieces and 237 elements, this model is running about $140 plus about $11 for the instructions, that's €10, and it's available on Rebrickable. Inthert's T65 is the smallest of the models I'm including today, and it's somewhere in between minifigure and midi scale. It definitely works regardless, and it is really impressive to see how much detail is crammed into a relatively compact package. What sets this model apart from the others is the build experience. Inthert has a unique style that's hard to describe, but there are clever connections and sub-assemblies that come together in very unexpected ways. This is an extremely entertaining build that if you've never built an Inthert model before, it will definitely leave you impressed. It's also decently challenging, so even more experienced builders will be challenged and impressed by this model's novel construction. The final product looks great as well, of course, and some details worth pointing out are the way the astromech droid is represented. It's not a full droid, but the head mounted on a 2x2 round brick with holes to simulate the droid's legs. I also really like the minifigure shield used in the nose cone, and the use of the 3x3 round bricks for the engine intakes, which served as the reference point for the scale of the entire model per the designer. You actuate the S-foils by manually opening and closing the wings, there's no built-in mechanism, and there is a small functional stand included as well. This model is a bit fragile, so it's probably better as a display piece, but it can be handled gently and it will be fine. Note that the model you see here is a custom color scheme that I did on my own. The original model is gray and dark red. The model and the stand require 925 pieces and 194 elements, and will likely cost you around $125. Instructions for this model are free and they are available on Inthert's Google Drive. For the link, check out his Instagram profile at InthertBuilds. Fukus Saku's X-Wing is the largest of the 6 X-Wings, edging out Jerax and Brick Vaults by about an inch. What I love most about this model are the great little details the designer created using very clever construction methods. For example, the nose cone on this model is by far my favorite, making use of 2 wedges arranged opposite each other to both give an accurate shape and some slight relief off the fuselage. Using the wedge means this little shape on top was included, which is a cannon accurate detail. Finally, the bullhorn is used to fill in the small gap, and that's a great use of this part. Next, the red stripe on the wings is unique in that the red pieces on the underside of the wings are left uncovered with these offset wedge plates to create a diagonal. The last section I really like on this model are the cannons, which use minifigure goggle pieces with the old style clip connections to hold wand pieces past the flash suppressor. The side profile of this is absolutely perfect. And LEGO continues to let us down by not making a good element to use for the flash suppressor. The S-foil mechanism operates with a 2x2 fluted round brick on the bottom of the fighter, and another great feature of this model is that it's very easy to operate the S-foils on the stand as well. The stand is a very solid build and lifts the fighter quite high off the table, so while this model is swishable, I think this one is more on the display end of the spectrum. Since I reviewed the original model, Fukus Saku has released a number of color variants that may appeal to you as well, including Red 5, Red 2, and the partisan X-Wing we saw briefly in Andor. This model is very accessible, although some sections do take a little bit of patience, so more experienced builders will have an easier time. The fighter and the stand have 1,433 pieces and 320 elements. The white and red version you see here will run you about $175 with tax and shipping using only Bricklink. Instructions for all the variants are €12 or about $13. This is the second version of Jerax T65, and version 2 is a big improvement over version 1 in nearly every way. This model is pretty much just all around excellent. Version 1 was also the first custom model I built when I started my channel, so it will always be special to me in that regard. The S-foils open and close by turning a low profile gear on the bottom of the fighter, and the motion is very smooth and works in both directions. Detailing everywhere looks very good, and the build itself is generally very accessible and also reasonably sturdy. You can swish this around without worrying too much about anything falling apart. I do think this is more of a display model, however. Like Inthert's, the one you see here is a custom color scheme that I worked on inconsistently for a couple of months trying to recreate Blue Leader from Rogue One, so this is not included in the instruction set. However, you do get 4 color variants if you purchase the instructions from Brick Vault for $18.99. You can also take 15% off the cost of the instructions by using my discount code, CATS15, and a small portion of the proceeds go right back into the channel. As always, a huge thank you for those that use my code and support the channel in that way. It really does mean a lot to me. Since I believe the most popular variant for Jerax X-Wing is Red 5, that's what I'll price out here. The model requires 1,333 pieces and 239 elements, and will run you about $193 from Bricklink once you include tax and shipping. Last and absolutely not least, Quarrys Workshop's T65 is partly based on official set 75301 for the rebrickable description, but this is effectively an original build. This model is an incredibly good rendition of the X-Wing using the 75301 sticker sheet, and the designer did a great job keeping the design and build simple, but making it look good at the same time. It's nearly the same dimensions as 75301, which is probably the closest to true minifigure scale. The model is very stable, almost comparable to an official set, and the S-foil mechanism is integrated extremely well and activated by pressing down on the round tile on the greebling strip. Again, this only works to open the S-foils, so closing them is just a matter of pinching them together. There's no stand included with this model, so for pricing purposes I included the parts for the universal stand by my friend Grinding Bricks. This stand's instructions are free, and this will hold your X-Wing very securely without adding much cost. The designer has done a very good job with the instructions for this model, and the simple building techniques make this model suitable for all levels of builders. Quarrys Workshop's X-Wing and the Universal Stand by grinding bricks require just 746 pieces and 217 elements, and without substitutions using only Bricklink, you're looking at around $95 with shipping and tax. Instructions for the model cost $7 and are available on Rebrickable. So with that, I think there's an X-Wing no matter what you're looking for in the model. If stability is a primary concern, Tubricks, Quarrys, and Edge of Bricks are your best picks. And if the S-foil mechanism is a deciding factor, I would go with Tubricks. I think the most screen accurate models are Jurak and Brick Vaults and Fukus Sakus, and if you're looking for a next level building experience, nothing compares to Inthirts. Price-wise, without any substitutions for the vanilla parts list, the approximate pricing of each model is as follows. Note that in my full reviews of each model, I do go over part substitutions you can make to bring down the cost, and utilizing LEGO's Pick-a-Brick service also helps cut down on the number of stores, and therefore the number of shipping charges you'll be paying for Bricklink. Thanks as always for watching my X-Wing comparisons video, and let me know if you'd like to see more of this type of thing in the future. If you built any of these models, you have something to share that I left out, or have a question about something I didn't cover, please leave your thoughts below in the comments. Also, if you know of any other interesting X-Wing models with available instructions, please leave a link in the comments or let me know. Odds are I will be interested. Finally, I am very conscious that subscribers are earned and not deserved, so if you enjoy my content and want to see more, consider subscribing, leaving the video a like or a comment, or follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Thank you, and I hope to see you back next time.